All right, so this is devlog recording number 1. What's up? My name is Travis Glover. I am a software engineer who's working on a passion project. It's my first production, my first game ever, so join me on my journey as a solo developer, building my dream game from start to finish as someone who's never done really much of any game engineering at all. A little bit about me is I work from home as a software engineer. I'm on a contract right now, so I'm technically full-time, although my job is coming to an end, so I will be looking for a new job in the near future, which includes studying for software engineering interviews. And when I get that job, it may impact my ability to contribute to the project slightly, although for now I am incredibly motivated. So there's that. Anyway, I have done some game development in the past a little bit. I worked with Unity for a little while, working with a universal fighting game engine to try to make a fighting game, but I eventually quit that project because I just couldn't get into learning animations at the time. It was all just too much for me to take in, and I eventually abandoned the project. By making this YouTube channel, I really hope to get some audience engagement, advice, motivation, and frankly just build a following for the game before it comes out. I feel like it's really something that you almost have to do these days when you're going down the indie development route. I know there are definitely some people who have found pretty good success without marketing their game at all, but I think that also requires a tremendous amount of luck, which I'm going to need anyway, so I might as well do myself some favors and at least market the game a little bit. Plus, it'll be nice to look back on in the future when I complete this project to see kind of every step of the way when I hit each milestone, kind of what my thoughts were, and just to see the project grow from where it is now to what it will be something to see. So I'm excited, and I hope you guys are excited to join me as well. This video will serve as an introduction to my project as well as an update of where I am now and what I'm working on, as well as any future milestones that are coming up. So anything that I'm planning on adding to the game, or basically the next big chunk that I plan to complete. I'll get into that a little bit later near the end of the video and when I show you guys kind of where I am now. Anyway, enough about me, let's talk about the game. What I'm calling Star Striker right now is a mashup of a bunch of different action games kind of set around the base mechanics of the Star Fox 64 game. So somewhat simplified aerial combat controls, no inversion like Microsoft Flight Simulator or anything like that. Much more simplistic, although I'm trying to amp up the speed and the ferocity a little bit to kind of give it a little bit more of an edge, but it will hopefully feel very familiar to a vast number of people out there who may be wishing that Nintendo would give them the next entry in a beloved, forgotten franchise. So I'm hoping to kind of fill that space with this game and gain some traction in the Star Fox fan world. So if you're a fan of Star Fox, this game is for you. Interestingly enough, when I was in the prototyping phase of this game, I was actually building a different game. I was building a versus multiplayer game. So still with the same idea, but think more of like the Star Fox 64 versus mode, but in one that you could change your weapons. So instead of changing just your vehicle, you could also change what your laser did, or what your charge shot did, or what your bomb or your special did. So that was kind of the idea behind that. I built the prototype out, and it was incredibly difficult to build a multiplayer versus game while learning all of the intricacies that go with being a first-time indie game developer. As I'm sure many of you know. After about 3 months, I had a complete working prototype with very successful, I'd say, testing sessions with my friends and family, who all seemed pretty excited to play and enjoyed it quite a bit, which actually gave me a lot of hope that it was a decent idea to sink some hours into. But it became obvious pretty quickly that creating a multiplayer game was incredibly difficult. Even if you had a small team of engineers, it would be way harder to not only design everything from a multiplayer perspective, but then go testing all of the interactions, triples or quadruples in some cases, building some features. And as a new indie dev, you need to be iterating much faster on your work so that you can try stuff out, see what works, see what doesn't work, what's fun, what isn't fun. And you need to kind of be able to do this very quickly. And so having to build a small feature out over the course of a day or two just to test it out and find out that it's not really fun can be a huge time sink. So it became pretty obvious that I kind of needed to pivot the idea, or at least include or focus on what would be a single player experience, because that's something that I can very easily test myself. It's something that I can give to other people that they can then test on their own time, rather than me having to schedule multiplayer testing sessions and getting feedback, which all just took an astronomical amount of effort. Yeah, and it's sad, it sucks, because I know that it would be great to have a multiplayer game. It would sell twice as well, for sure it would. I mean, just being able to, hey, I bought this game, and send it to your friend, and then they buy it. It's like, it would obviously be worth doing, but as a relatively new game dev, it's something that I feel like I'm not equipped to do well enough right now. So I do plan on adding co-op to the game, or at least keeping the verses that's in there alive through the end of development. But we'll see what happens, and I will probably release just the single player experience first, and then if the game gets enough support, I will go and actually build out the co-op and probably the versus side as well. It's something that I would love to do, as hard as it will be. Hopefully that's a future Travis problem, and he'll be real good at that. So that kind of leads me to where I am now in the project. For the last couple of weeks, I have been building out various enemies to fight, and really just polishing the weapon system and getting the combat loop and the combat chains really satisfying. I'm borrowing different aspects from action games that I really enjoy, that I think will be really fun in this setting. So I'm still just kind of testing various parts of the combat, but I have a pretty good idea of kind of like at a base level what it's going to feel like moving forward. I'm just really fleshing that out right now. So my next big milestone is to create a simple, completable version where you have 5 different levels. They can be very simplistic. They can even be all filled with the same enemy at first. But the point is to just get a winnable game state and a losable, restartable game state. So that's kind of my next big milestone, is to kind of get the architecture of, you survive the arena round of enemies, you get to choose some kind of upgrade, you do this 5 times in a row, and if you beat the last level, if you survive through the last level, you win. If you die, you have to start over. I think that's a pretty manageable chunk to kind of work towards, considering how much I have done already. So expecting to get there within probably the next month, but we'll see. I think it's a pretty good foundation to build off of. I think that it's something that I can kind of iterate on relatively easily. I already built 5 weapons for every class just in my prototype, so I actually also already have some nice game pieces to play around with. It's quite a daunting task, but I'm enjoying it. I love the hell out of it. It's the only thing I think about now. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought about this video, about the game itself, or just anything at all. I'd love to hear your thoughts, or just kind of get the conversation going about what people would like to see in a game like this, what they think I'm doing right, what they think I'm doing wrong, ideas, any of it really. So yeah, drop me a comment down below or subscribe for my next video, and I'll see you next time.